Hello, hello, hello. Y'all caught me about to get a sip of water. Good afternoon. This is your Senator Angela Williams Graves, welcoming you to What's Up Wednesdays. I represent the 21st Senatorial District in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where we do good work on your behalf. And I am so excited to be here with you today because we've got a great conversation to have. And so I want to kick it off by we've had a lot of folks who have asked the question, how do I research candidates? Where do I get good information from about the candidates, right? So how do I do that? Where do I get that information from? How do I know that the information I'm getting is not skewed or biased or any of that? And so I want to talk to you a little bit and just say, first of all of the information that you get is biased. And the reason why it's biased is because we're all human and we all have our own perspectives. We all have our own experiences that we bring to the table. We also have our own relationships that we bring to the table with regard to how we see people. Right? How I may see one candidate over another candidate based on relationships, based on work that I've done with them. If they have offended me, because I had somebody yesterday say I can't vote for this person because that person is supporting them, and I said, oh, okay. And they said to me that they had a conversation with somebody else that said, well, that's just one person. And the gentleman that I was speaking with said, well, that's one person too many, because that person that's supporting the other person offended me to the highest order in the past. And so how we look at things and how we see things, you've got to know that you are trusting the source that you're getting information from, and you have to be comfortable with their bias and take all of the information and process it for yourself. And I know that that may sound like it's asking a lot, but we live in a representative government. And so you want to make sure that the people who are representing you have values that you align with. You want to make sure that those folks that are representing you, they kind of have the same thought process as you do. Now, one of the other things that I also always say, and I'll probably say it again before today is over, is that it is unrealistic for any constituent, consumer, citizen, voter, whomever, to believe that you're going to agree with everything that your elected official says, does, and votes on. We are married to people that we don't agree with them on everything, and we love them. I tell people, me and my husband, it's the thermostat, honey. All right. It's the thermostat. We can't agree on the thermostat. He wants 65. I want 70. All right. And any given day, you're going to find it somewhere in between. That's kind of a happy medium. But, we love folk that we don't see eye to eye on every single thing, because we're individual, we're human, we're looking at things from a different lens. And so it is unrealistic for folks to believe that they're going to agree with their elected official on every single thing, on every single vote, on every single comment, on every single everything. Because number one, you don't know what that elected official has in terms of information. You don't know what facts, statistics, data that they're looking at when they make their vote. It's too much information that we get to combine it or condense it into a 30-second soundbite, right? Or a tweet or a text or a post or whatever. It's just too much. And so you have to work with somebody that you at least trust their judgment, even if you don't always agree with with their final decision on various issues. Because let me tell you something, this stuff does not stop. All right. It really doesn't. It does not stop. There are issues. There are things that happen every single day. And you may be vehemently opposed to something on one day, and you may be supportive of something else on the next. So just know that it changes, it fluctuates, it's fluid. And don't let one vote from an elected official cause you to say, I'm never going to deal with them again. I'm never going to support them again, because they may come back and champion an issue that is very, very important to you. All right. So let's go to our, let me see, y'all know I'm playing producer, right? So we going to do this. All right. Nope, we're not. We got to go back. All right, here we go. Y'all already know it's What's Up Wednesdays. We good. So now, as you are doing your candidate research, you want to start by looking at, especially if it's a race where you don't know either party, right? You don't know either person that's on the ballot, any of the people. Go to their websites and visit their social media and learn about their platform, their values. What are their priorities? What's important to them? Everything is not important to everybody. And that doesn't mean that things are unimportant. Okay, it doesn't mean that. Everything's not important to everybody, but it doesn't mean that your issue is unimportant. And it might just be that the candidate hasn't had that issue come to their table. A lot of times people think that we know everything about everything about everything. And what I can tell you unequivocally is that is not true. We do not know everything about everything about everything. What we do know is about all the things that come to us. We know about the things that we may seek out. We have opinions on the priorities and the things that the values that are important to us. You want to look at that. You want to look at their issues. You want to see if their issues align with things that are important to you. Maybe not everything that's important to you, but that they align with things that are important to you. Then you want to also look at their endorsements. So you want to look at who's endorsing them that you do know, right? I've had a lot of people that have asked me, Angela, who we voting for? And I'll tell them who I've endorsed. All right. And they'll say, okay, cool. That's what I wanted to know. And is that kind of cheating, right? Maybe a little bit, because you're dependent on me and my judgment and my values. And ideally, our values align, right? But you can't punt that responsibility of who you're going to vote for off on somebody else. You can take their recommendation, okay? But if the person ends up not being what you thought they were, you can't blame the recommender, because you may not have done your own homework. So do your own homework. So you want to visit, you want to see who's endorsing them. Are the people who are endorsing them, do their values align with yours? You want to look at their voting history, especially if they are incumbents. You want to look at what their voting history is on various issues. And so I know in the General Assembly, it's very easy to go to an elected official's page on the General Assembly website and find them, and then look at their voting history on various pieces of legislation, what they've carried, what they patroned, all those kinds of things. Then you also want to look at you want to look to see if how they voted aligns with your values, right? How they voted. And then I encourage folks to reach out. So if it's an issue that's important to you and I voted against it, ask me why I voted against it. Don't just assume that I didn't care or that it was a nothing burger to me. All right. So you want to make sure that you want to reach out to that incumbent's office and say, hey, you voted no on Senate bill, whatever. Why did you do that? And more times than not, that elected official is going to look at what the bill is, and then they're going to go back through their notes and they're going to respond to you and tell you why they voted no. All right. Now, you may not agree with the reason, but at least you understand that this is somebody that you can communicate with. This is somebody that's going to respond to you when you have an issue or concern or a question. And that too is very, very important. So check their endorsements, check their voting record. Then you want to watch or read interviews and debates. So, and newspaper articles, right? News articles. A lot of times there are debates for, different candidates, lieutenant governor. There will be several gubernatorial debates after the primary, is over. Once we have the lieutenant governor sealed and then the attorney general's race, there will be debates, right? There or lively civic discussion, right? A community forum, if you want to call it that. And so and a lot of times those will be either televised or they will be live streamed. Okay. And so you want to make sure that you're watching those. You want to see how this person pays attention. You want to see how they answer the question. You want to see how they articulate their plans for the Commonwealth. You want to, or for the city, if it's a city council race or something or another like that. You want to see what they say their positions are. Then you want to go back and look at their websites and stuff and see if those two things align. Right? That's what you want to do. So when you're doing this research, is it work? Yes. Is it? It absolutely is. But once that person is elected, it's real hard to get them out. And so you want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence when you are, before you cast your vote, especially when you don't already have somebody selected because you have a relationship or you have a history or you've supported them and you are pleased with the work that they have done. Wait a minute. Do we have? Oh, social media, websites and social media. Okay. That was in the first one. I missed that part. Check their social media. I don't know of a single elected official these days that doesn't have social media. Now, some of their social media may not be up to date. All right, because I've seen that too, right? You go to somebody's social media and they haven't posted anything since June of 2022, right? Or the last post was about a COVID update. Okay. But check their social media and see how they present, see how they inform, see what they say on social media, see how they deal with discourse. When somebody posts on their social media that doesn't agree with them, do they respond at all? Because sometimes the best response is not to respond. I mean, seriously, I'm going to tell you that because that's kind of my policy sometimes. People are entitled to their opinions. They're entitled to say what they say. I have no obligation to respond when I don't feel like the post when I do feel like the post may be disingenuous, or I feel like the post may be made as a response that is designed to bait me. Okay, I'm not going to be baited. All right, I've been doing this for a minute and I'm not going to be baited. And so sometimes, and then here's the other thing, social media moves very fast, right? It may seem like we're on social media all the time, but I promise you we are not. We all have other jobs and work to do. So we cannot respond to every single person who comments to us on social media. But if you really have an issue and you really have a question about something, email your elected official, email that candidate and ask them for their position or their opinion or why they voted some way. And you will more than likely, you will get a response from them as to why they did what they did or what their position is on any political issue. You'll get that. So I want to give you some information on voter registration. So this is pertaining to in-person and online. All right. So I want you to make sure that you pay attention, that you hear me on that. These dates are pertaining to in-person voter registration and using the portal, using the citizen portal online to register to vote. You have until May 27th, 2025 to register online or register in person and still be able to vote in the June 17th primary. The primary is June 17th. And so if you're registering in person or you're registering online, you have until May 27th to do that. Then on May 28th, we flip the script. You can register and vote on the same day. And as a matter of fact, you have to do it that way after May 27th in order for your vote to count. All right. Anybody that that registers prior to prior to May 27th, they can vote on election day, June 17th. If you register after May 27th, so from May 28th on, you can only register to vote in person. And then you will be given what's called a provisional ballot to cast your vote. The elections department will then go back and verify all of your information. And then your provisional vote will be counted on or after election day. And I say after because counting of votes and counting of ballots goes on for 1 week after election day in order to get the total number of people who voted for each candidate so that we are complete. So if you still have as of May 28th, the opportunity to register and vote on May 28th. And in that same day, you can go to the registrar's office, which is on the first floor of the City Hall building in downtown Norfolk. Or you can go to satellite early voting, and we're going to come back and talk about satellite early voting and the locations for satellite early voting. So we're going to make sure that you know what those locations are. So you can go, usually there's 4 of them, and you can go to the satellite locations for early voting during that from the 28th all the way up until election day. And then you can go to your precinct on election day and register and vote on the same day. All right. If you are going to be 18 on election day, you can do one of 2 things. You can either register in person or online, and then you can go on your 18th birthday, and you have to do that by the 27th. Okay. You have to do that by May 27th. You can go online, or you can go in person and register to vote. And then you can go to the polls on election day, which will be your birthday, and present your ID, and you'll be able to vote. If you miss that window and your birthday is on June 17th, then you can go to your precinct on June 17th and register and vote on your birthday. And I think that is an amazing birthday present to give to yourself. All right. So then mail-in ballots, we call those absentee ballots. If you want to receive an absentee ballot or a mail-in ballot, you have to do that by June the 6th. Okay. You have to do that by June the 6th. And I know it's a lot of dates. I carried a bill this year that is going to streamline that for the November election. So you won't have all these different dates to remember. Okay. So just know that better is coming when it comes to that. But for right now, if you want to request a mail-in ballot and absentee ballot, you can do so. You don't have to have an excuse. All right. You don't have to have any of that. You can do that. You can call 757-664-4353. 757-664-4353 and request a mail-in ballot. They're going to ask you for some information, but just know you call them and they're the Department of Elections, so you can answer any questions that they have. Or you can email them at vote@norfolk.gov. vote@norfolk.gov, and you can request your absentee ballot, and then they'll ask some questions of you and get all the information that they need in order to verify your identity and then send you out that absentee ballot. You have until June 6th to make that request. Okay. And then you can go to the website. You can go to vote.elections.virginia.gov. vote.elections.virginia.gov in order to request a absentee ballot as well. And then you have until election day. One of two things has to happen by June 17th. Either one, it has to be postmarked by June 17th and received. Hold on, let me look at the calendar right quick so I give you the right dates. And then it has to be received by June 20th. All right. So if you put it in the mail on June 16th or 17th, it's going to get postmarked, but it has to be received in the registrar's office by that Friday, which is June 20th. Or you can take your absentee ballot filled out. You can take that ballot to not to the registrar. I'm sorry. You can take it to your voting precinct on election day, or in the meantime, you can drop it off at the registrar's office or at any of the satellite offices once the satellites open up. Okay, so it's really important that you know all of the ways that you can return your ballot instead of putting it in the mail, because some people are very distrusting of the mail and the time that it takes to get from point A to point B. And I don't blame you, because they've gotten a little bit better. But we want to make sure, if you want to ensure that your ballot, you have options. You can drop it off at the registrar's office. You can drop it off at the satellite locations, or you can bring it to your precinct on election day. But just know that if you mail it, it has to be postmarked by June 17th, and it has to be received by June 20th. All right. Just want to make sure we got all our bases covered. Now, we've got primary elections. Primary election day is June 17th in the in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's June 17th, and there are several people on the ballot for this election. And so I know this print is small, but that's why I'm gonna read it to you, so that if you're listening, you can jot it down. And then if you're listening, you can hit pause right here, and you can see the different websites. And we talked about doing your research for the candidates and making sure that you had the information, at least seeing where people are on the issues. Again, especially if you don't know them, especially if who are these people? I ain't never heard of these folks before. Who are they? Their website will at least give you a good start. It'll give you a good foundation of how they feel, what their issues are, and those kinds of things. You've got so for Lieutenant Governor, you've got LeVar Stoney. It's www.levarstoney.com. levarstoney.com. Then you've got Barber Lateef. He's Lateef4va.com. Lateef4va.com. Then you have Aaron Rouse, and his website is Rouse4Virginia.com. Rouse4Virginia.com. And his Virginia is spelled all the way out. Then you've got Victor Salgado, and that is Victor4Virginia.com. Victor4Virginia.com. And his Virginia is spelled all the way out. Then you have Ghazala Hashmi, and her website is Ghazala4Virginia.com. Ghazala4Virginia.com, with Virginia spelled all the way out. We could not find wait a minute. Yes, we could. I'm sorry. Alexander Bastini is Progressive Virginia for AlexBastini.com. Progressive Virginia for AlexBastini.com. And then for Attorney General, Then for Attorney General, we have Shannon Taylor, and her website is ShannonTaylor4VA.com. ShannonTaylor4VA.com. And then we have Jay Jones, and his website is jjones.com. jjones.com. And then we have, okay, wait a minute. No, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, we're going back. Hold on. I need to make sure that I can see these. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I play what do you call it? Producer here. Okay, I'm checking on something. Make sure I can see this. All right. So Commonwealth's Attorney. For Commonwealth's Attorney, we have John Butler, and his website is butlerfornorfolk.com. Butlerfornorfolk.com. And then we have Ramin Fadahi, and Ramin's website is FadahiNorfolk.com. FadahiNorfolk.com. And that's all of the folks. Let me get back here. All right. That's all of the folks who are on the ballot for the primary on June 17th. All right. And that's their contact information. And so you may say, again, who are you endorsing? Senator Williams Graves. I'm so glad you asked. All right. I am endorsing for, in the statewide endorsements for folks who are on the ballot. And the only people who are on the ballot are those people where it's more than one person looking for, that's trying to get the Democratic nomination. All right. And I'm be perfectly honest with you. Y'all know I'm a Democrat. I'm not concerned about the Republican primary. If you want to go look up the Republicans, have at it. Be an informed citizen. Okay. But as for me and my house, we support the Democrats. Okay. Okay. So now, Aaron Rouse for Lieutenant Governor. That is my choice for Lieutenant Governor. And you can reach him. You can find out information about him at rouseforvirginia.com. That's Rouse for Virginia, with Virginia spelled all the way out.com. And then Jay Jones is my endorsement for Attorney General. And again, his website is jjones.com. Real simple to remember, jjones.com. And then, okay, so now you're going to say, well, what about Abigail Spanberger? I'm so glad you asked. Abigail's not on the ballot in June. She is the only person who secured the Democratic nomination by getting the appropriate number of signatures and doing the appropriate paperwork and turning all of that in and having all of that validated. So Abigail is the Democratic nominee for governor in Virginia. And absolutely, I am endorsing her and I'm supporting her, so much so that I want you to come and join me and other Democratic leaders on Friday. Yeah, this Friday, the 23rd. Join us for a great meet and greet from 11:30 to 1. You do have to register, y'all, okay? And the reason why you have to register is because, one, we need to know how many people are there. Two, we need to know how to feed y'all. What you're not going to do is say, Senator Williams Graves invited me to an event and they ain't even have enough food. Nah, you're not going to do that to me. Okay. So you're going to go to the website, and hold on, I can't see this. I don't know why I can't, but I'm going to get it for you. All right. You're going to go to mobilize, mobilize.us/S/FXIWTW. All right. That's where you're going. And if you don't know, if you can't get all that, I'm cool with it. Just email my office and let us know that you want to attend, and we'll get you all registered. And you will do that at info@norfolksenator.com. info@norfolksenator.com. You can email my office. We'll get you all registered so that you can attend, and we have enough food so that everybody at least gets a chicken wing. All right. Okay. All right. Because like I said, y'all not going to talk about me. We ain't having that. All right. So now on Monday, it is Memorial Day, and I participate in the Larchmont Edgewater Memorial Day Parade. It's a great parade, great community. And then they have an amazing event after that honors our folks who have given their lives in duty to our country. And we need just a couple of folks to participate in the Memorial Day Parade, to walk with us. And I'm not even going to try to give you this link right here. Just email us at info@norfolksenator.com, info@norfolksenator.com, info@norfolksenator.com. As a matter of fact, if you have questions about anything that was presented on this or any other What's Up Wednesday, you can send your question to info@norfolksenator.com, and we will respond to you. But if you want to walk, if you want to come hang out, be a part of the parade with my office and with our team, please send us an email, info@norfolksenator.com, and we will get all the pertinent information from you and to you so that you can participate. All right. Now, remember, elections are not free. Elections are not free. And these offices don't run on love and gratitude and good feelings. So I would greatly appreciate it if you would add us to your budget and put us in for, $5, $10, $15, $25, $100, $500, $5,000. We will take it all. And if you would do so at our ActBlue account, and that is secure.actblue.com/donate /Friends of AWG 2025. If you would support that link with a donation, I would be so grateful to you to help us to do the good work on your behalf. And then finally, I just want to say, I know that there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm a little bit past my 30 minutes here, but there's a lot going on in the world today, and there's a lot that is happening. And I want you to know that I am not oblivious to all that is happening, but everybody's hair can't be on fire. All right. My job, as I see it, at least one of my responsibilities is to stay calm. And it is to stay sane thinking. And it is to make sure that I am communicating clearly with you the information as it is being given to me and the facts as they come to me, not speculation, not propaganda, not what if, but as these things become facts, to communicate them with you. And so if you have issues, if you have concerns, if you have questions, we're here to help you. If you need help with federal, state, or local government issues, my office is a bridge. Our team is well equipped to help bridge you from your issue to whatever department or issue it is that you need to reach out to get the help that you need, that you may not have been able to get on your own. Our job is to help you to be able to do that. So you can reach us at 757-524-4941, 757-524-4941, or you can visit my website, norfolksenator.com. That's how you can see where I stand on issues and how you can find out more about me. Or you can email us, info@norfolksenator.com, info@norfolksenator.com. I just want you to know that we are here for you and we love you. We appreciate you, and it is an absolute honor to serve the constituents of the 21st Senatorial District. I want you to know, and I want you to remember that no matter what happens in the world, you are a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle. And don't ever forget it. So until next time, when we see you again, I want you to remember that. I want you to remember I love you. And if you need us, just call. Bye-bye.